A lot of people tend to stop believing in God because he was not around in what most people would consider to be one of the most darkest times of their life. I am on a mission to spread a message and impact globally to share that the good news here still exists. So, where was God during our trials? A lot of people, like I said, a lot of us give up during those times where we feel that he wasn't there. We were in dark times or things happened to us that were just very unfortunate events. And we found that after praying and praying and praying and praying and praying, we couldn't find him. So where was he? Well, biblically, straight up, I'm going to keep it, real with you. He was seating at the right hand of God. So, in other words, he was chilling.
How about if you, just as an experiment, try letting me help you? A lot of your stress is going to be lifted once you're out from under this mountain of work.
He was relaxed. He wasn't worried about anything. And I guess that's something that took me a long time to realize, where I had that moment where I'm like, okay, this is when I truly understood that after so many times of thinking that I was getting unanswered prayers, after so many times of thinking that prayers were not getting answered, the reality was that I was looking and searching and asking him for things that I already had. For instance, like strength and guidance. And this is why it's super, 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 super important for us to really understand that, because what happens is we put a lot of our troubles and our circumstances that we may bring upon ourselves, and we throw it right back onto God. And what happens is we develop like this relationship with him where we start to, I guess, like love and hate him. So there's times where we're in awe of him, and there's times where I have been in awe of him, and there's times where I've been very frustrated with him.
I'm so done! Yeah. What's the matter? No! I'm done! I'm done! I'm done!
The people that suffer the hardest in these times, the people that are really struggling the most in trying to like understand why things happen to them, or why during their trials do they feel so alone, or why in most of the times of their life do they feel like they are not getting the help that they're looking for as far as their relationship with Christ goes. And I feel like the people that suffer that much are the ones that only know the scripture that they can do all things through Christ who strengthens them, but they only know that's the only thing they know, but they don't know really much else of the Bible.
I got a $10 Chick-fil-A card if you can share with me one Bible verse.
What is that?
See, because knowing some of those scriptures, those ones that you heard growing up that you knew thousands of times, knowing those scriptures, they really don't do you any good unless you understand the context in which those scriptures were used, unless you understand other parts of the Bible. There's a lot of people that know small things in the Bible, little scriptures that they use, and they think that as long as they know these things, they can continue on in life.
You can't triple stamp a double stamp. You can't triple stamp a double stamp, Lord. You can't triple stamp a double stamp.
Some of my most frustrating times with God was when I felt like I was not getting my prayers answered. That was some of my most frustrating times with him. But I realized that a fool, like thinking about like taking some accountability, because like I said, some of the actions and things that I did, they were brought upon by me. It's not that like God made these things happen in my life so I can learn. Like God doesn't test us. He's not trying to test us. He doesn't want to tempt us and things of that nature. No, he's made the vision and the plan very simple, and that's exactly how he wants to keep it. But I realized that a fool, the Bible talks about a fool constructing things without looking at a manual. Essentially, you know what I mean? It's like a fool is a person who knows where to get things from, but doesn't go there to get them. And that's kind of how we are sometimes as believers. Like we know where we can get our information from. We know that prayer is the direct line of communication with God. But yet when we find our times in troubling situations, when we find ourselves in the times of depression or anxiety, we do not understand that strength that we were talking about in the Bible earlier, that scripture, those watered down scriptures that we tend to use a lot, that strength that it's talking about I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. It's understanding that Christ is residing within you. So when you're asking God constantly and over and over and over and over for help and for guidance and give me the strength and give me wisdom, and it's like, at what time do we realize that these are things that he's already given us?
Take care of this. Calm down. Calm down. Get a hold of yourself.
Doctor, you're wanted on the phone.
But I think the reason why we don't really take like heed to that. I feel like the reason why we really don't understand that is because we don't want to accept any accountability for the actions and the things that we've done. We don't really want to accept accountability for the, I guess, consequences that we have to, experience because of the choices that we made.
Woo! You know, you got some nerve blaming me for your skeletons, mister.
I feel like sometimes it's a lot easier to be able to just throw it back on God and be in this woe is me activity. But that woe is me activity is for the birds. But keeping it real, keeping it going. If I go to God, this is just the reality. If I go to God, that means that I believe that he can give me the answers. God's essentially our manual. So instead of being a person that doesn't really want to be a fool and construct something without looking at the instructions and then getting mad at the end result because it doesn't look as good as what it was supposed to be, or it didn't turn out the way that you thought it would turn out, but you did not seek guidance first. Yeah, take a little bit of accountability and understand that, look, God's my manual. That's as simply as that. That's as simple as that. Like, I know there's a lot of talk with people saying like, oh, God's a narcissist or whatever, but no, he's our manual. You know what I mean? So I understand that when I'm going through something or when life happens, he's who I can go to. He's the person I can go to, and he's going to give me my answers. And understanding that knows that he's given me the manual, which is his word. Like, understanding that I know that I can go to him puts me in a position where I know that, yes, I can go to his word and I can read and I can learn more and I can understand that a lot of the things that I'm in, I already have the information to be able to come out of it. But the thing is that we are so against getting deeper and deeper and deeper in that word, which is the one thing you need. I find out there's a lot of Christians, man, that really don't know the Bible.
What is that?
Like, I'm telling you, like, they go on in life living life, going about their relationships with Christ just based off of what they know and what they learned decades ago. There's no relationship. There's no true understanding. It's just terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And we're against it. And I feel like the reason that a lot of people are against it is because not only does it give you instruction, not only is it helping us, not only does it like provide the information that we need to be able to get through the things of life, but what it also does is it corrects you and it shapes and it molds you. And sometimes that could be a little bit uncomfortable. You know what I mean? And that experience of having to navigate through life and accepting accountability, which I feel like is a big disease for a lot of people in the world today. But accepting some accountability and allowing yourself to be shaped and molded, that's the beauty of it all. You know what I mean? And realizing that. So like I said, you know what I mean about the people that struggle the most in the Bible is the people that don't read the Bible. The people that are struggling the most in this world right now, man, they're the people that really just are not reading the Bible and they're not getting through their word. And that's my take on it, because if you know the word, there's too many things that are in there that literally give us instruction on how to navigate through life. But people just really don't take heed to it, you know, because like I said, knowing all things, you know, through Christ, you can do it all, that strengthens you. It serves you no purpose if you don't know that the strength that can do all things it's inside of you once you accept him. So there's acceptance. But once that acceptance happens, there's a relationship that has to take place. And most people aren't here for the relationship. They're just here for the blessings, or I guess, I don't know, the clout, the bandwagon, whatever.
Hmm?
What are you doing?
Nothing. Me? Just hanging around.
But that, like I said, that acceptance comes with another level of challenges, because you can't just accept God for the things that you want and then not expect him to hold up any expectations on his end. See, we like to call God a narcissist, but it seems like the way that we want him to behave towards us, or the way that we want him to conform to, is a little bit narcissistic of us to request. And everyone's always talking about toxic traits and toxic things. That's definitely one of them right there. A toxic trait to expect God to, I guess, be there for us in ways where we don't have to contribute anything to a relationship. Like I said, it boils down to this. It's not like ritualistic. It's not all religious based and everything like that. It's a relationship, a legitimate relationship. And if you can develop a relationship with him, it's just like a relationship with anybody else. there's things on both ends, give and take. There's things that are requested of us, and there's things we request of other people. And it's that simple. And I know a lot of people have made it very, very, very difficult over time. And definitely the point of this is just to simplify everything and give you the information that you need. So honestly, this message just keeps getting spreaded across where it needs to be spreaded across, honestly. But yeah, don't be in a toxic relationship. You know, if you don't want to be a toxic relationship in your natural world relationships, well, why would we expect our relationships with Christ to be toxic as well? So many people know God. That's what I realized. So many people know God, and the people, they have not changed at all. You know, they confess, oh, I know him. But there's nothing about them that has changed. And the way that I'm going to be able to tell, the way that other people are going to be able to tell, the world's going to be able to tell, the way that any impact is ever going to be able to be made is if your character and your behavior start to change. And that's what's going to shed the light and open an understanding, you know, to other people to see who exactly you serve and why is it that you're able to be so strong, and why is it that you're able to carry on in life with the victory, you know, if you will, that you do have. But the reality of it is most people don't know him. We're moved constantly by our emotions. That's why we get to those positions where we're like, oh God, where were you? Oh, I don't believe in God. Why? Well, because when I went through this time in life, he wasn't there, or I lost this person, or I lost this thing or whatever, and he wasn't there. But we cannot allow our emotions to dictate how we respond in any relationship. We can't allow our emotions to even dictate how we show up in the world, because it's irrelevant, you know, and we cannot allow the irrelevant things of this world to shake us, because once you get into it a little bit more, and honestly, with more help with some of these videos, and also if you decide to kind of go off on your own, which I encourage you to, and read the word on your own, you'll find out that you have way more strength and way more power that you can ever even think or imagine of to really just overcome all of this irrelevant stuff that we make such a big deal of here on earth.
Calm down.
Honestly, all that stuff is for the birds, just like the woe is me stuff. All that woe is me stuff is for the birds, and we're going to leave that with the birds. But to sum it all up for you guys, man, where was God? You know, where was he? You know, and where is he? Always going to be when we're going through life's trials and tribulations. He's going to be chilling. He's going to be seated right there at the right hand of God. He's going to be relaxing. Why? Because he already knows that you've been equipped. It's really just up to you. It's an understanding. It's an acceptance of really just getting to that place where you say, no, I understand. I believe it. And not only do you understand and believe it, but this has now become my character. This has now become who I am. And I'm able to demonstrate this to the world in more ways than one. That's the whole point in this. You know what I mean? He's chilling. You know, he just came off of a rough shift. He already fought. He did everything he needed to do. You know, taking scars, lashes, and for people that even hated him. You know what I mean? He did everything that he needed to do. He's just sitting back chilling, and he's waiting to see if you're going to believe in exactly that he did everything that he needed to do, and all you need to do is just believe in him. But look, I don't want to keep you guys too long. We got more of this coming on. This is just the first video in this topic. There's a lot more questions that people have in regards to where was God and what was going on and how can I deal with this situation and how do I navigate through it. And I'm here to help you with that. If you like that and that sounds like something that you want to be a part of, don't be afraid. You know what to do. Go ahead and hit that subscription button for me and join the movement. Without further ado, though, I thank you guys for what you guys have been doing for this channel. And I thank you for tuning into this one. I'll see you guys next time. Till then.